Good morning, everybody. I'm Andrea Burgart with the Finance Department Debt Management Office. And this morning we have several representatives here who will assist in answering questions regarding the different improvement projects: water, sewer, storm, and paving. Engineering staff will help with the project details, and I can help answer questions regarding the finance part of the project. At this time, I will briefly explain the schedule for these assessments. On May 19th, statement of assessment letters for these projects will be mailed. You will have until June 20th or 30 days to pay all or a portion of your assessment to avoid paying some or all of the interest. If you choose not to pay by June 20th, your assessment will automatically go on the 2024 tax roll. The interest rate used for spreading your assessment will be determined when the bonds sell in September of 2023. Our last bond sale interest rate was 3.808% for 15 and 20-year notes. If your assessment is put on the tax roll, it will be spread with interest over the next 15 or 20 years. If your property is a single-family home, it will be spread over 20 years. If your property is a multifamily home, such as a duplex, triplex, or apartment, or a commercial property, your specials will be spread over 15 years. The first installment will be billed to you by Sedgwick County with your real estate tax in November 2024. We will now answer any questions you may have.
So I just want to check, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to repeat back so I make sure I understood what you said. So the special assessment, if we don't pay it in full in around June, it'll go onto an annual tax payment at an interest rate of around 3% or whatever the bond that you sell it for would be. And if it's a multifamily, it's spread across 15 years. So it would be like, if there's a $10,000 assessment, it would be $10,000 divided by 15 with the interest rate.
That is correct. And
Okay.
you can also make a partial payment in during those 30 days, and it would reduce what is going to be assessed.
Okay.
But that is the only time that you can make a partial payment or avoid the interest.
Okay. And then if I sell the property, it has to be paid off during closing? Is that how that would work?
No, the special stays with your property.
Okay.
So sometimes sellers will pay the specials off, but a lot of times they don't. It's just it's unique to every sale.
Okay.
So after we're locked into the 15-year, we have to wait till the end of the, or 15, 20 year, we have to wait till the 15 or 20 years ends. That's how we can't pay it off early after that.
You can pay it off early, but you still have to pay the interest. So you're not saving anything by paying it off early.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, so if it's $1,000 in interest or whatever, even if you pay it off early, you pay that $1,000 in interest no matter what.
Yes, and that's because the city is paying that interest as well.
Accepted. Not if you pay in the first 30 days. Can't you avoid interest if you pay in the first 30 days?
Correct.
And you said the bills, the true final bills would be mailed in May, due in June? May?
Yes.
Okay.
And they should be the same as your statement letter or as your notice of hearing letter that you received.
And just with more instructions on how to pay it, I guess? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly right.
And no action means that you are automatically put on that 15 or 20-year payment plan if you do nothing.
That's correct. It just automatically rolls over onto your taxes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
What is this improvement for?
What does your letter say?
It says Sandcrest 4th edition, lots 1 through 13, block A, lots 1 through 5, block B.
In the first paragraph on your letter, it should say whether it's storm, sewer, water, or it will have a street name on it.
It says constructing pavement on 26th Street North.
So it's for your street.
But I'm confused because there's already a street there, so I don't know what street it's adding and why it's getting assessed to my property, I guess.
What is the project number that's on the upper right-hand corner?
472-85456.
So that's 26th Street North. We cannot assess a project until it has been built completely. And so it may have been built for a while, but we only bond once a year. So it can take a while to catch up to our bonding process. And you're considered in the improvement district for that street.
So the developer who developed Sandcrest included petitions to guarantee the improvements of water, sanitary, storm, pavement, and they split this out into phases how they want to build it. When you signed all your title work, there will be resolutions in there that describe each one of those improvements. So your title work should include resolutions for this paving, and that's how you would have, one of the ways you could have known about this coming in the future, because like Andrea said, we only sell bonds once a year. The project's complete, they have to final everything out, and then you sell bonds once a year. This could be a year or two after the project's complete when we get to this point.
Okay. So in my title work, it'll contain if there's any other additional specials that will be assessed. I just bought my property a year ago, and it's a 3-year-old property.
That is correct. And if you have any questions about it, you can call us in engineering directly back. I can give you my phone number, but we can walk you through that. Typically, pavement is typically the last one because it's the thing that goes down last, because you're not going to do the pavement and then tear it up with some of the underground utilities.
Okay. So then I also have my evaluation notice for 2023. So is this going to be on, that's just regular standard property taxes, right? And then the specials go on top of that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm new to Kansas, so questions. Okay. Now, as far as the appraised value, I mean, I know current market values are declining, so I don't really see an assessment on that. Is there, what is the process in Kansas to have your appraisal value evaluated?
You need to go talk to the appraiser, and that's actually Sedgwick County.
Okay.
So as part of your evaluation, there should be a number or contact information, email, something on that, because I just got mine in the last month or so too. So
okay, that's not related to this call. Okay,
yeah.
my apologies. Okay.
I think you had asked these taxes aren't going on your taxes until November of 24. So they're in the future yet. So
Oh, okay.
it won't be this year, it will be next year.
That's not November of this year. Huh. So, okay.
Will we be provided with the link of this recording?
I have, to be honest, I've never recorded a meeting before. If it gives me a link, I can do that.
Hey, Andrea.
Yeah.
This is Sean. Yeah, it'll basically save a video document for us, and we can send that out however they want to. So yeah, we will have a file of the video.
Okay. Do you want to take my email address and give me a just shoot me your email and then I'll have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to take it down.
ABURGARDT@wichita.gov.
Is that B as in boy or D as in dogma? Delta.
B is at the beginning as in boy, and the last two letters are D like David, T like Tom.
You could even put it in the comments section.
Okay.
There is a contact too. I saw someone put a comment in the chat.
Into the chat.
If you open up the chat, there was another comment too in the chat.
Lefty asked a question about being told about the taxes at time of closing. If they're already on the tax roll, I enter these in January, so they're live on the website, the Sedgwick County website. So depending on when you purchased your home, sometimes they can be live on the website. Also, like Sean said, you should have copies of the resolutions and your closing documents. And I'm more than happy to tell you what resolutions they should be. If you wanted to email me, I can send you the resolutions.
Gotcha. So there should be some section in the closing documents for these resolutions.
Yes.
Okay. I'll email you to get some clarification about it.
You have to look at them pretty close because you're going to have to figure out how many lots are included in the improvement district. You have to figure out what total dollar amount of the project is projected to be. And then if there's any main benefit fees or anything like that, you also have to incorporate that in there. So you have to look at how it's being spread too. So there's a little bit of couple different numbers you potentially have to look at and be able to calculate. As far as the calculation is just figuring out the total number of lots, but numbers should be spelled out specifically for each piece. But then you have to see how they're spread too. Typically for new developments, it's going to be on a equal shares, so everybody picks up one share of the total cost.
So it's divided by number of lots, not value of the lot?
Correct. That's typically the way it's done. You have to look at each resolution specifically. It'll call out how each one of them's done. But typically for new development, what they are doing is each lot gets one share of the total cost. So if there's 30 lots and it's $900,000, you take 30 or 900,000 divided by 30, and that's what you pay.
Are there any other questions?
Is there a list of any remaining special assessments that haven't been billed yet, I guess, for the property that I own? Like, I heard you mention, like pavement, and I'm just wondering if there's a pavement one coming my way at some point, or if I just got all of them right now.
That we would have to look at based upon where you're at and what, based on the legal description for your parcel, we would have to actually look at that and compare to the resolutions for that parcel, how many resolutions include that and what's already been assessed.
Is there someone I can reach out to on the side to talk about that? Or shoot me an email address and I can just do a quick ask, or point me in a direction that I can find it out, you know, anything. It doesn't have to be right now.
Well, the first thing I would tell you, the first place to start is to look at the county or the GIS system. Go to your lot and bring up what's already been assessed is a great place to start. So that way you can see what's already been assessed, what you're paying for each one of them. I also put my email in the chat. If you want to go there, you can look at that, take it down and shoot me an email. We can look through and make sure how many phases. If you're getting a water or a storm or sanitary and you don't see paving on the county or the city's GIS system, more likely you've got a paving coming.
What is this, the county or city GIS system? I'm not familiar with that.
It's the mapping system for the county or the city. You click on your lot and you can pull up the tax information for that parcel. If you want, I can share my screen. So I'm just going to click on one of these lots here.
Sean, you might clarify even what the where they need to go to. If you could provide that link, it probably would help.
I will go back to that, but it'll take some time. So
That's fine.
I'm in the GIS system. I just clicked on a parcel, say this was the parcel I own. It'll say Sedgwick County Appraiser's information. You can click on that and you can go to special assessments. So you can see this parcel, what their special assessments for 2022, 2023, and then payout from 23 to the end of them. So you can see a couple of these are just starting in 2024. And then you can see when the end year for each one of them is.
How do you know what one hasn't been applied yet?
Well, ultimately what you'd have to do is compare this to the resolutions you have. That's why it's probably easier for us to try to do that if that's the information you're seeking.
Okay.
Because you have to compare all these to the resolutions you have and cross off each one as resolutions. But part of the problem is some of the resolutions can be redone for different reasons over time. So, so if I go back, actually, I should be able to go back here. This is the city one. I'm just more familiar with it. So it's just the one I am going to pull up. So this is just the city of Wichita's website under IT. And I can actually go back farther. I can't because I just have a shortcut to it. But this is under the city of Wichita's website under IT. And then it'll have GIS. And so you can go, I use the internal one. You guys don't have access to it, but you can use this one or this one right here. So you just click on it. It'll open up. You have to agree. Typically there was an agreement, but then you can just pull up any parcel you want. You can punch in addresses if that's the easiest way, or you can just zoom to the map and just pull up your parcel. You can see there's addresses, but then if you click on it, it'll bring up information for that.
Okay.
So again, there's the link. It looks a little different on the version that's available to the public, but you can click on this link right here for Sedgwick County appraisers information. That brings all that information up. Sedgwick County GIS is very similar. I don't use it as much, so I don't know it as well.
Okay.
We have a question of how are the improvement projects approved? Sean, do you want to answer that or do you want me?
So it depends on a little bit what type of project we're talking about. Again, if it's a new development, the developer will submit petitions as part of the platting. So anymore, when you plat a piece of property, you have to guarantee you're going to extend water, you're going to extend sewer, you're going to have to storm sewer, and you're going to pave roads to that development. In the past, that wasn't always the case, and that's how you end up with dirt streets or people without sewer and water inside the city limits of Wichita. So that's a requirement of the subdivision. They split up into phases when they submit the plat, which is the legal document of them splitting it into lots, more or less. To get the plat approved, they have to have those petitions and resolutions. They split it out however they see fit.
Because they own all the property.
That's at the time.
Yes, they are 100% owner of everything at that time. So they are the ones signing it. That's why you have the resolutions to go with title work. So when they sell off property, that people can see what they're going to potentially have to pay for specials for those improvements when they happen and when they finally get assessed. If it's a dirt street, if it's somebody else not development wise that's inside the city limits, you have to look at the resolution. But ultimately what we have to have is a majority of the resident owners or the area sign in favor of the petition. Those go through a process where it goes to a district advisory board. People are invited to those meetings that are included in the improvement district. Then it goes to the city council. Assuming both of those get approved, then we start designing the project as the city of Wichita and move forward in that direction. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Are there any more questions? If there aren't any more questions, we're going to go ahead and conclude the meeting. And if you've gotten our email addresses, you can email us. You can also give us a call at the debt management office, which is 268-4526. give you a few minutes to get that. And that number is also on your notice of hearing letters. All right. I hope everybody has a good day. Thank you for coming.